squinting from the camera.
What? I'm so good!
But now all on silence in a 1v4. He takes 2. Down goes both. Can he stay alive? He downs another 1v1 on the Kento and he wins it!
Clutch this round out for IF. He gets 2. That's the defeat. That's huge. Mikey, no social
Oh my-
on the drop. We're Subarctic is sprinting around desperately, and we're going to overtime.
Oh my God! Ashen! It's high noon. There's the 1v2 and 5-1/2 for Surf.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That intro, as always, was incredibly hype, but I think the game might just have it beat today, Jonah.
Yeah, that may be the case. Hopefully we've got another banger on our hands, or maybe the first banger of the night. The first one, we expected it to be a little bit closer than it turned out to be.
Yep.
But this time, we've got Mystic going up against Chess Club. The first game that we're actually going to get to see from Group C, ironically enough. We haven't seen either this game or the Gashers Goons Noob Slayers game. That one happening, of course, tomorrow. But tonight, our focus is on this Mystic Chess Club Group C debut. Of course, these two teams, we've seen most of these players in SCS before, but we haven't seen them necessarily under these banners or with the exact same combination of players.
Yeah, for Team Mystic, they were competing last stage, but with a completely different team. This is essentially two-faced, plus Tones. And Tones has played with a lot of these players, whether it's an iteration of the Mystic team that was underage. Now they're of age, and they're in Challenger League. Eddie Kick, Silent, Splash, and Tones. If you notice one name gone, it is Poison. It brought a lot of structure to the team. They decided that was not the direction that they wanted to go towards. They wanted to bolster up a little bit of the firepower, a little bit of the aggression. You know, the new org, like I just said, that new firepower. Hopefully they can get a new result and go a little bit further than getting first rounded in playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to want to look at to make it a little bit further. No doubt their hopes, but same thing goes for the side of Chess Club, right? They didn't even make it to the playoffs last time when they were under the name Soup. Now, going under the moniker of Chess Club, they'll be hoping to make it all the way. That's Doc, Bills, Mr. B, Snake, and Gunner, the addition to this roster that we did not see last stage. Now, the first critical point, this one may surprise all of you, it's just Gunner. Gunner, period. Is Gunner going to show up in the way that we know he can? Gunner, the incredible player that he is, if he can show up, I mean, this Chess Club roster, we know how incredible they can be. And while it's technically not the SCS debut for every one of these players, for most of them, in fact, this entire core roster, the name Chess Club, it is a fresh start for them. Gunner is in the mix. They've got to hope to have a better SCS debut than we just saw from Judgment Day. They have the pleasure, though, of not going up against the champions of SCS as it stands. So hopefully they'll have it a little bit easier. And I think this one, Connor, it really does feel like a 3-map series. Obviously, I don't know exactly how these teams are going to, come out of the gate swinging or, whatever we're going to see tonight. But this is a tough one to predict. It's a tough one because we know how competent all these players can be.
Yeah, all these players are really good, and both teams play a pretty similar play style. Very loose, very aggressive, sometimes dumb. Hopefully the dumbness will be very mitigated, but almost enabled by our maps of Coastline and Villa coming out, as well as Oregon. Oregon is one of those maps that every single roamer has some sort of stupid trick, whether it's a spawn peak or a rat corner that they can get a free frag, just like on Clubhouse. But the first map's coming up, Coastline and Villa. Villa has the basement, and Coastline is just Coastline. We're going to see a lot of high-octane action. I can already feel it.
Yeah, especially with Coastline right off the rip. Chess Club will actually be starting off on the defensive side. Not something we see all the time, especially on Coastline, which does lean attacker-sided. We have generally been seeing that go more 3-3, even defensive-sided at points. That's at least where Chess Club want to kick things off, and maybe it'll be the defensive-sided map that they are hoping. But Mystic, it's their map pick. They're probably feeling comfortable on that map, and they're going to probably want to head into that map with a full head of steam. Much like last time, our predictions are pretty split at this point. And Connor, even though you had that 100%, I think just yesterday you had that 100%.
I did.
You've fallen down. You've fallen down to the likes of me, 60%. Both of us kind of taking up the rear, other than Ferme and Tai, of course. I mean, what the heck are they doing?
I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Nova's about to go under us too, so.
Well, we've got the Chess Club prediction here, so.
We do. And hopefully, I mean, if we're correct, that means Harrison's incorrect, and he's not going to have a 100% anymore.
We'll see. We'll see,
I
because
don't like Harrison having that bragging rights over us. I don't.
I mean, you've had the big brain in the past. I feel like you won most of our CL predictions. You were on the top in all of those, you know.
Yeah, but T3, you know, it's the Wild West. You don't know what's going to happen as much, especially when you have two teams like this, like I already mentioned, are very aggressive, and they make sometimes questionable, sometimes insane plays. Where, I mean, even in our intro, that was Silent jumping out on a Vout cam and then floor banging somebody on his way back in. I don't know how that happens, but that was on the map of Oregon. That is a decider, so maybe we could see a replication of that. But we also just need to focus here on Coastline, because you were mentioning it earlier, it has slightly shifted to being a less attacker-sided map, and that's really due to the rework, where 90 as well as VIP can actually be defended, which is just kind of nice. And with Chess Club coming out, they're going to choose the defense. Hopefully they're going to apply just enough pressure and utility over towards that area to really hold down and make their defenses prosper.
Yeah, we are just waiting a few minutes to actually get into this lobby. I think a couple of players having issues starting up their Moss, the usual shenanigans as we enter into a lobby here. But hopefully we'll just get it underway in a few minutes, where we'll be able to get some clarity on exactly what kind of Coastline we're in for here, Connor. Now, as we predicted, Coastline is probably going to be full of the shenanigans, and that'll probably give us a bit of an indication as to, you know, what kind of Villa we're going to see. As you've already said, Villa is one of those maps that can kind of go either way, right? You could play it like a Coastline, running around like idiots in the basement trying to just hunt for kills, or you could play it extremely structured and composed. There are very few maps in the pool that have such a complete 180 in terms of they could be this structured and they can be this ridiculous. And Villa, I feel like, normally errs on the structured side. But these two teams, and especially starting off with Coastline, if they get that aggression if they get comfortable with that aggression, and that's the kind of way they want to spend the series and kick off the series with, maybe we'll see that transition to Villa as well.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is if they just start seeing red, and on Coastline, you're going to see a whole lot of red. And if they aren't able to just have that reset, we could be in for a very, very interesting Villa. But more than anything with Coastline, it's just Coastline. We kind of know what to expect, in the fact that we're not going to know what to expect with the kind of unexpected plays. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's Coastline. Anything can happen. So if you know that anything can happen, then it's kind of knowing and kind of backwards. But I mean, we could probably call the bans. I don't think Valkyrie's going to be up, or Mira.
Yeah, solid guess. The mirror is something that we've seen, you know, go back and forth. We are just waiting, though, a little bit longer to get a few players in this lobby. While we do that, we're going to send it to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We are good to go. Finally, everyone is in the lobby, and we are going to take us into Coastline, a map that we have prefaced with a lot of speculation. Thankfully, our speculation, we can finally let that go. We can actually focus on the present and at least begin with our operator bans. We'll start things off on Coastline as we normally do. We'll likely see, you know, one of these, the Flores maybe taken off the board, something maybe aggressive like the Lion taken off the board. That's something we often see on this map. But instead, maybe we'll see something get a little bit spicy, right? On the defensive side, you predicted, Connor, we would see the Mira ban. That is what we normally see. We don't often see the Nomad ban, though, so that's a bit unusual.
It's kind of the same vein as the Lion ban. It's just allows a lot more free-flowing on the defensive side. Thatcher also. When was the last time we saw a game with Thatcher up? Like, never.
Never.
We never see Thatcher up.
No.
Nope.
Coastline, though, is interesting, though, to see him banned because he's not always essential.
Yeah. You could also get it a little bit more fun, but Mira goes down, probably Valk as well. Even though I guess Chess Club are starting on the defensive side, they could keep her up. Nope, they're just going to remove her. Valkyrie is quite the nuisance on any map, Coastline in particular. It's all those palm trees and coconut bra spots that you can throw those cams, and all of a sudden you have multiple people flying out of a window, and it's just not a fun time to even try to enter the building.
Yeah, and especially on a map that, like you have said already, is, you know, leaning more towards that even 50-50 split. Defensive teams are having a bit more success on this map. You do not want the defense to have such a potent piece of utility, such a potent operator like the Valkyrie in play at all. So with her off the board, we'll be able to see how Chess Club want to start their defense, how Mystic whip out these operators on the attacking side. But it looks like we are going to get interesting right off the bat here, Connor. We are going to see Penthouse and Theater right off rip here for Chess Club. In addition to that, we've got Mr. B pulling out the Warden. We've got Snake pulling out the Alibi. Really just going right for it, going for a surprise site pick and going for those aggressive operator choices as well.
Yep, the aggression. What a surprise with Coastline. No, I'm absolutely gobsmacked.
Bewildered.
I'm flabbergasted, bewildered, whatever word we want to say. And we're going to see actually an interesting Hall of Fame shield. Most of the time, teams don't put it directly on the side of the door, but that does make it significantly more difficult if you have to swing it with a gun or something like that. But a little bit easier to get with a nade. Just trade-offs. We're going to see the Electro Claw up inside those rafters. There's like the little like U things you can throw it in, and it gets... Oh, he didn't get both walls. He didn't throw it deep enough. Needs to go watch that, like I said, Coconut Bra video. I guess no, that was a Jaeger himself video with the nerdy Electro Claws. As the rest of the team, you know, they're all off site. Besides the Shield player and the VIP player, Silent almost sneaks a Twitch drone in and would remove one of those Electro Claws. The other one you have to repel in a very specific way to shoot it over towards like by kitchen. Like over on that horizontal. But Kix is going to take a lot of damage. Don't quite know where from. That's going to be one of the issues with this map is all the action's going to go different areas. Actually, Mr. B next to the shield swings out and says goodbye to Kix. Down goes your only hard breach.
On most sites, that may not matter on Coastline, but on this one, hard breach is something you really want back. That VIP wall, now no longer achievable, whether or not you can get those Electro Claws out of play. So instead, Holmes is going to maybe try to make something happen. He'll burn that Surya gate on the Hall of Fame door, now potentially building up some pressure there. Snake knows, though, that with the death of the Hibana, they can likely play this one a little bit safer, right? They don't have to worry about that wall being opened anymore. They don't have to contest anyone pushing on that VIP balcony. The only real entry point they'll have is the Hall of Fame doorway. So something the Chess Club now can be quite comfortable in. You'll have Gunner actually positioning over towards the billiard side. Now he knows that the attackers have to change their approach, and with that, he'll be in the right place at the right time to take down Eddie. 2 kills, now 3 going the way of the defense to right off rip here. Doc will take down Tones. It's going to be Splash and Silent all on their lonesome against 5. Splash pushing up Vase, kind of uncomfortable here. Knows he's in a bit of a crossfire. Knows that Gunner is lurking around the other side, but doesn't know exactly where to look. And it's Doc to line up 2 kills from VIP. He'll find a triple kill on the round, and that is an excellent way to begin for this Chess Club defense.
Yeah, that was pretty much nothing accomplished by Mystic. They didn't do anything. Therefore, they couldn't do anything right. Pretty much everything done wrong. Unfortunate for Kicks being the first death. It really threw a gigantic wrench in their plan with that how they were lining up was to go in VIP and transition into the bomb site. But guess what? With no heart breach, can't really get into VIP. It's not a window anymore. It's a reinforced wall with 2 electric claws on it. Potentially would have liked to see just even feigning the pressure, because kitchen control was in the favor of the attackers, utilizing anything to get at least that 1 electro claw off the wall that was just sitting there in the middle. To put any pressure that way would have kept Doc honest of, hey, they might still be going VIP Balk. They might have somebody with a hard breach charge or something like that. But no, instead it was fully telegraphed that for Mystic, it would just became crouch walk mode and enter in at random areas in the map and get cut down systematically.
Well, that kind of back and forth, that decision that the attacking teams have to make about the hard breaching, it's always a tough one, especially on Coastline. And even a map like Chalet does heavily depend on that hard breach, though. Especially on Coastline, only bringing 1 hard breacher is typically the move. You don't need hard breach on all of these bomb sites necessarily. It almost always will help in some way, but most attacking strats don't involve a heavy amount of that hard destruction. But on a site like VIP and Penthouse and Theater, it really does help to have extra of that hard breach, even if it's not a primary hard breach, or even if it's someone who just brings those can openers, like that Zero, who's very viable on this map, like a Capitao, who's very viable on this map. If you bring just that extra bit of utility, maybe it's an added comfort that attacking teams could have in pocket, and maybe it could help them down the line. Mr. B, though, he'll take a lot of damage on the defensive side, so maybe Mystic can find some comfort in the fact that they've dealt a lot of damage to the Smoke, the one player who Chess Club want to keep alive until those last few seconds of the round. But again, with the single hard breacher in play, Kicks just taking up that role, they won't be adding any of that hard destruction into the mix. Maybe Kicks will just play this one a little bit safer, a little bit more passively, and not try to get himself exposed early. Tones, though, he'll be the first player to fall as Snake takes his life.
Yep, and that's another opening pick. And a run out coming through as Silent almost dies. Don't quite know who ran out. Yes, it was the alibi of Snake, just going crazy once again. As he does. Could swing once again, but he's going to fall for his actions. The head glitch from the Habana, a little bit too strong. As the man count is evened up, the Finka boost will be spammed on cooldown to try to get Silent into fighting shape, up into tip-top condition to take any gunfights. But for the side of the defense, they don't really have that luxury. Mr. B, with those very important Toxic Babe canisters, is going to be sitting on that 10, 15 HP for the rest of the round. He's got time to kill, and he's eventually going to have to fight vertical pressure, which is not fun to do.
Well, it's not fun to do, especially on low HP. That's just 1 stray bullet that catches you through 2 floor panels, hits you in the back of the ankle, is enough to down you at this point. And, you know, you really want to keep those smoke canisters alive as long as you can.
What?
So this is a new fun glitch. So Splash is actually up in the fight, even though the UI does not indicate it. So it's a 2v4 now that Bills takes down Eddie. Silent will roll around the corner, but Splash, it turns out the game might think he's downed.
Yeah.
What in the world just
I think
happened?
I think he got downed as he was boosting, and the game just decided to implode on himself.
That's a
So
very
he was
fun
still
one.
downed, couldn't res himself, and was bleeding out while sprinting.
Lovely.
That is
Lovely.
Yeah, not even gonna comment. But once again, Mystic not really doing a whole lot very well. Just getting cut off piece by piece. Not a whole lot of synergy on their team, even though a lot of these players have played together before. And overall, their attacks have left a lot to be desired and don't necessarily have a whole lot of direction.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. I think it's fair to use the word, balance here again. I use that obviously to describe, the hard breachers. How many are you going to bring? How much hard destruction are you going to prioritize? But the balance between, focusing on frags, but still playing as a team is very important, right? I mean, we know it's an aggressive team and they want to play aggressive, prioritizing fragging ability rather than structure. That's totally understandable and that's totally fine. But with that in mind, you still need to play unified together as a team on a map like Coastline where you know for a fact the defenders are going to be running all over this map, looking for gunfights, looking to just punish anyone walking into the building. There is no better map to play together on. You can play those trades. You know more defenders, more roamers are going to be isolated. It's okay if you lose one player as long as somebody is there to get the trade in that last round. If you think about every single gunfight that transpired, more than half of them at least involved some Team Mystic attacker by themselves. Whether that was somebody outside challenging onto a window, whether that was somebody getting run out on, it felt like everyone was pushing or was in these individual positions, and Chess Club punished that. What we really need to see from Team Mystic here is a little bit more of that pack mentality, a little bit more of just grouping up, staying as a team, and I already like what I'm seeing here on this hookah balcony. There's 3 players in that position. You've got somebody on that double window rappel and Eddie down below. You could always be in a bit of a danger spot, but everyone right now, they're playing unified, and it's no surprise that they've got the opening pick.
Yeah, a lot of the times you try to isolate out the defenders, not have the defenders isolate out the attackers, and working as a team is definitely working a lot better early on for Mystic. Shots coming out. Splash is going to land that headshot onto Bills. He's already netted 2 kills, which is more than they got in the first 2 rounds combined. So, definitely a lot stronger as the floor nade is going to come out. The yellow ping onto the Maestro. He should die. No, Gunner lives with 5 HP. He's still alive and kicking. And another nade coming, and you don't barely have to time that right. And that was not a Yana clone. I thought that was a Gemini replicator, but I guess you can get a little bit more aggressive when you have such a massive man advantage. Splash will finish it off from that window, securing a 3K and a lot better of an attack from Chess Club. A lot faster too.
Yeah, I mean, a heck of a lot faster. They applied pressure immediately.
They said screw the roamers. The roamers were screwing them, so they said screw the roamers.
They didn't let themselves get isolated at all. They didn't bother pushing the roamers out. They said, you know what? We know where the site is. There's a window and a door that leads right to it. We've got another window to provide a nice cutoff. We've got ample utility in terms of frag grenades. Let's just apply pressure right off the bat. They did it, and it worked really well. LMGs really do hit different on Coastline, as Splash proved to us there. Just pre-firing every angle, getting any wall bang he could, and doing so successfully. 3 kills for the Finka. Really well played from Mystic, and finally making the adjustment that they needed. Not allowing themselves to be isolated, cut off, and taken down by roamers. Not allowing that Chess Club strategy to prevail. And because of that, it's no surprise to see Chess Club, go to hookah and billiards as their tertiary site, as that third choice, when it is a site that doesn't work as well with that roam and with that extension. I suspect that if we get to that point again, we might see them go to double bar instead, which even though it does have, a doorway theoretically that could just walk into the site, it also has a lot more potential for holding map control and taking map control, much like the strategy that Chess Club have employed on the other 2 defensive rounds, Penthouse Theater and Kitchen, that they were able to win.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing will be for Chess Club, for Mystic, their first attack was completely chalked because Kix was the first one dead. Hopefully that's not the case again. We'll actually get to see them attack how they want to. That would be a big, massive thing. Mr. B still looking on the same angle, trying to utilize this pistol, and if Kix repels up the same way, peeks it, and dies, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be very angry. I know that at least, but yeah, Kix is on the roof. Good job. He's going to stay a lot more safe. They can burn this shield from the roof, from that drone hole, and chase it with a nade, potentially find a kill onto Mr. B. But as soon as that burn starts out, he's going to get out of dodge, understand that, yeah, there's a nade coming, and a good read.
Yeah, and so with that, knowing that the Warden has been forced off of that position, Kicks will drop safely this time onto the balcony, and the Twitch drone will roll through. It doesn't appear to have dealt with those electric claws just yet, though. It'll have to try again, and it will quickly be denied. This means now that Mystic have to figure out a way to deal with this electric claw from below. They cannot just send a Twitch drone in, cross their fingers, and hope, and that's exactly why Tones, as you can see, is sitting downstairs. Splash will get a kill onto Mr. B in the meantime. Here comes that nade that probably would have killed Mr. B either way, and Tones himself will take down Snake, who tried to either rotate back towards the site or get aggressive on towards Kitchen. Either way, caught rotating was the alibi, and the Yana more than happy to collect that kill as a result. Splash now gets another kill, taking down Doc. Gunner has been lit up. Bills is also now on low HP as Splash finds more bullets landing his way. It's a 5v1, and Splash will finish off the round with a headshot. It is Mystic making some very nice adjustments. They know exactly what they're walking into, and they will deliver a flawless round.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing was, I was saying that they're going to get to open up the VIP wall, but no, they didn't know that the electric claw is outside. You can nade that all you want, but you got to go over on the rappel over towards big window and the kitchen door, like over on that side of the balcony, and go like all the way up to the top and like shoot into the grates. It's hard to explain, but it's in like up inside the awning. It's a really nerdy electroclaw. That's at the end of the day, it's a very nerdy one. It's like some Wichita Wolves 8 million years of dry running electroclaw. And yeah, but at the end of the day, do you really need to breach the wall when Splash is going to be the one to open the round and just kill everybody?
I mean, I think the highlight of that round, I mean, obviously it's Splash just getting all those kills, but I mean, they dealt with the Hall of Fame shield so early in the round, right? That Mystic didn't have the position. I mean, they were relying on that position pretty heavily. They had a good bit of intel supporting that, and they had a Warden, you know, committing to that shield. He knows he's preparing to get flashed a lot. He's got the goggles to put on and activate if he needs to. And yet that position was torn apart instantly. It was flash, 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 nade. It was like in an instant, the shield was burned, and Mr. B knew that he could not linger, activate the goggles. He had to get out of there. Doing so smartly was great, but once that position was gone, and once that VIP player who was holding the Hall of Fame crossfire had been killed from below, there it is. I mean, it doesn't matter if the wall is open or not, because the Hall of Fame door is now just an easy entry point for the attackers to push through. Team Mystic knew that after some really good coordination with Tones, you know, applying that pressure onto Mr. B from below, allowing those kills to run through. All of those things just clicking in that one round. And just like that, I mean, we highlighted the issues they were having for 2 rounds, and 2 rounds later, we're all tied up.
Yeah, and this is more so how you would expect the attacks to work for Coastline. A lot more team-oriented and a lot more kind of trade-intensive, but the trades haven't really come out that much because these players aren't dying. They're understanding the exact cutoffs and getting rid of utility with things like good old-fashioned Twitch trails, just walking in, take out a battery, and all of a sudden your horizontal push can come through as soon as the breach happens. Not necessarily seeing that much of a different take from the side of Mystic's attacks. They're gonna, you know, just get VIP, try to apply vertical pressure. Splash already inside of Hall of Fame. Could take some gunfights over to the players inside of theaters right after he drones. Snake prone on the ground. Could be easy pickings if his intel is gathered for his exact location. But instead, it's just gonna kind of be fall off because there's been so much time wasted. A punch hole could land a kill, but not. Oh, wow. What a shot onto Splash. He probably never saw that one coming.
Well, he may have, you know, prepared to swing that angle. He had his drone working all the way up the 90 hall there, and I think he may have spotted him out, but choosing to take that fight and losing it. Like the last bullet as Snake, you know, turned away to escape, ended up clipping Splash's head. So the Finka, who has been incredibly potent in the last few rounds, will not be able to make an impact here in round number 5. Now, Doc has been lit up during those top floor penthouse theater shenanigans, but in the midst of all of that, you also have the Wamai of Bills, who is going for maybe a bit of a play here or just a bit of a cutoff, trying to spot the head of the sledge as he rotates across, who will but won't be able to actually get the shot in time. But I mean, look at that. Eddie has no idea that Bills is still up above. The roam clear never really completed. The drone work a little bit insufficient, and the map control just not there for Team Mystic. The other 3 players, they weren't anywhere close to supporting Eddie. They're all outside. Now they're all just walking in. Silent gets one, but Mr. B trades it right back, dropping Silent down in the process. Doc will get the kill onto Tones to close out the round. And that right there was a great adjustment there in the mid-round from Chess Club. Mystic, though, never really could build the top floor pressure they were hoping for once they lost Splash. And then once they lost Eddie, it was all but curtains at that point. Had to go for the full send, and it didn't work.
Yeah, the full send did not work at all, because as soon as you kill the sledge for the side of Chess Club, I'm sure they were saying, yo, sledge is dead. Let's just rotate back to site and hold crossfires. And that's not a fun thing to walk into. Service, so many angles you have to worry about. The bomb chassis swing from kegs, that new window that's there, as well as the footholes, and even just the good old-fashioned kitchen door. Too many things to worry about. Everybody just kind of blocked up in one area. And there was 2 people inside a lobby. Pretty much everybody left alive on Chess Club was staring at that door, and just not a fun gunfight that you're going to win by any stretch of the imagination. Now, like you were saying earlier, Hookah, it's not going to be played by the side of Chess Club, who have gotten a pretty solid defensive half so far, but they can make it almost a dominant defensive half if they get this 4-2 on double bar.
Yeah, they would love this 4-2, and doing so on Blue and Sunrise here is no surprise. As I said earlier, Hookah and Billiards, it lent itself to a very direct and aggressive attack from Team Mystic. Chess Club, they really struggled to deny that push in through Hookah, the nades, and just, I mean, the LMG, and just the amount of simple, just sheer pressure that was applied downrange from Team Mystic. They want to change things up by heading down to Blue and Sunrise. Now, this particular site is pretty special as far as generally in Siege, I find, because it plays more like the entire map really feels like a big old bomb site here compared to some others, especially Blue Bar, right? Those floor holes over towards Courtyard, what it allows defensive players to do is deny almost any plant from any angle if they're sitting all the way across the other side of the map in main lobby. Now, of course, at the same time, you still have to worry about Sunrise, because you can't just deny a Sunrise plant from main lobby. You're going to have to deny it from up above or just from behind the bar instead. And the first kill is going to be found by Bills, just kind of running all over this map right now. He'll play a position over in Kitchen and take care of Tones, who I think was just trying to work his way in from the other side.
Yeah, and Tones is the new man on this roster. He's going 1-5 on the entry. Not necessarily the strongest thing in the world, but Mr. B, he's going to whiff that shot onto Splash, whipping out his drone. Kicks in the meantime. He falls at the hands of Bills. It seems like whenever Mystic make any move, they're trying their best to get into this round. It's just instantly shut back down by an aggressive play on the defensive side. Gunner isn't doing the best so far. His first kill was in the first round, but since then relatively quiet. Has the ability to make something happen, but no, Splash is going to read out that aggressive peek. Send another nade in towards Couches that Snake is going to evade.
Yeah, Snake is getting absolutely bullied by nades right now, and here comes potentially another one from Eddie. Splash has used both of his. A little Finka stim will help the entire team in whatever endeavor they are looking to undertake next, but Eddie seems just focused right now on getting some intel, assisted by Silent here, about where these defenders are positioned before eventually cooking and tossing that final frag grenade. But he knows how important this nade is. It's their last piece of explosive utility, and if this doesn't connect, it's going to be very hard to force Snake out of position. He'll get one as a result. He'll pop up and look for 2, and there it is. The SMG-11 lands its shots perfectly. Splash, though, on full HP, essentially. He'll look for one, he'll get it, but he cannot take down Snake, who gets those final 3 kills. Those nades, had they connected, we are looking at a very different round, but Snake successfully evaded all of them, evading the bullets along the way, and Chess Club, they'll take the round of 4-2 defensive split.
Yeah, and what's most interesting is that those nades were allowed to do all that damage because there's 2 operators on the defensive side that aren't being brought because Bills likes playing alibi. No Wamai, no Jaeger.
Gunner on
no,
the
they're
Legion
not
as
banned. Well. They just aren't brought. Yes. But instead, there was an alibi and a Legion. But, can we really knock him because it still worked out? I mean, sure, it's because Snake went absolutely crazy and killed everybody on smoke, of all things. But,
attackers need to locate and defuse
yeah, once again, kind of a still interesting philosophy from Mystic's attacks that they didn't really go for full clears that often. They were trying to take as little map control as possible, which philosophically kind of disagree with, because the strength of coastline attacks is how easy a lot of that map control can be taken. don't know if it's because Mystic, they aren't quite well oiled enough to go fast. But when you bring in somebody like Tones and drop poison because he couldn't keep up, and it was like too classic of a siege style, and you're going to be going for minimalist takes all the time, when another big reason that they brought in Tones is that they wanted more firepower, then you're not really using it on the full clears. So a little bit questionable.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. But I think we'll, despite all the lessons, we could have learned on that first half, we'll have to throw those out the window per se, because we now have a new half on our hands. We've got a Mystic defense, we've got a Chess Club attack, so our turn to potentially scrutinize the map control or lack thereof that Chess Club maintain, and at least try to maintain on the attacking side of things. But 30 seconds in, they're just going to work their entry over towards this office side. They'll get somebody right up in towards blue bar. That's going to be Gunner on the Yana. He'll be that first point of entry, assisted by a Twitch drone, but he missing every bullet in the mag. That one is...
Hurts.
That's a gunfight that Gunner's going to want back, and that critical point of just Gunner, I mean, it could not be ringing more true in my mind right now. That is a bummer for him.
Yeah, that is. That's tragic. That's going to be immortalized on Twitch forever. I'm sure he's he's going to be very upset when he watches this VOD back and sees, oh no, they did catch it on cam. I just got caught in 4K. It's just unlucky. But as the rest of this stands, Silent can be killed relatively easily, but so can Splash as he aggressively peeks over towards White, trying to kill a drone, walks into the line side of Doc, who has no idea that he downed him because that was through a window. They have an idea that he's over in that position, and Splash will actually be rezzed as 90 control is still in the hands of the defenders. Bills is trying to make a difference on that, playing aggressively up towards White. Will eventually push as Doc could swing with him. However, they probably have no idea that Splash is just prone underneath the window, does rotate out in good timing as the White window repel is hopped on. The Malusi Banshee, as well as the default cam, will get tapped out by Bills.
I mean, that was a full-fledged rotation from Chess Club in an effort to clear out the top of those White stairs and to clear out Splash. And they did clear out Splash, but because 3 players rotated around there and Splash heard all of the noise they were making, he's like, okay, I have no business challenging this. I'm going to run away and hide in a corner. The intel game, though, from Chess Club, impeccable. They knew exactly where he was and they took him down, but as I compliment them for that, oh my goodness, Tones, are you kidding? What a shot through the wall onto the double window. Slamming Mr. B into the earth. Will get down for his troubles, but now, I mean, Doc, Snake, there isn't a ton they can do. They'll walk in and they'll collect, I believe, a kill and a down, but that is going to be short-lived as they are quickly felled. And what a conclusion to that round as Mystic take it.
Mystic's roam game was pretty good, even though they took a lot of damage. The pure amount of time that they killed on that horizontal extension made it so Chess Club really had to get jiggy with it. They had to be uncomfortable and they had to push in areas that they didn't necessarily want to. The plant was off the table and it just pushed through on sight. And even after getting that first kill inside of Master, that was at like, what, 35 seconds left? And then the repel noise for Mr. Tones GN is just enough for him to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot over this way and land a ridiculous shot onto Mr. B.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. No doubt about that. But just think about how that round could be different. Had Gunner found the opening kill onto, guess who? Tones.
Yep.
That would have been a very different experience. Because again, the Wamai, who was caught completely unaware of Gunner's position, he was facing the other way, sprinting through the hall by Cool Vibe stairs, running into kitchen. Gunner, who had about 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 chances to win that gunfight, could not do it. And because of that, Tones got, I believe, was that 2, 3 kills on that round?
It was actually Silent was playing the...
Oh, my mistake.
Last round.
My mistake. Tones was the one.
They switched up roles on you.
They absolutely bamboozled me there.
They messed with you.
Well, Tones had a good couple kills in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Splash.
The warden that just crip walked up 90.
Well, it was Splash then who had a second chance at life. And maybe that point then can be thrown out the window because
Well,
Maybe
no, they had to
Splash.
hunt. They had to hunt him
That's true.
over in him as well as Splash. They were the two players over inside a penthouse that were causing mayhem,
That's fair.
which was not fun. For Gunner, he had a whole critical point about him, and he's taking a lot of damage from Splash early on, as well as a crossfire established by Tones. He's aggressively playing inside a penthouse, stopping this horizontal push coming out of Chess Club.
Yeah, he is that first barrier to their entry now. We can see that they're really trying to push in. They've got a player in office, and Tomes is going to fry him. Thankfully, at least for Chess Club, Bills is in position to get the trade, and so he'll shut him down accordingly. But that is definitely going to be a slow start for this Chess Club attack, and not the player you want to lose. Your Sophia, all of that shield clearing utility that she has in her pocket now gone, and with 2 shields in play, as well as those Wamai magnets and those Surya gates, definitely, I don't know, kind of going 1 for 1 there, because again, those magnets won't be able to regenerate any longer in the round. But now crossing this 90-second mark, and Chess Club are still on the hunt. They haven't quite been able to get a grasp on the extent that Team Mystic are roaming right now, but Doc will spot a couple of players out on that EE1D, but no action taken off it just yet.
Yeah, the first smoke canisters of the Twitch going out, trying to bait out anything, and it's going to bait out kicks, as Gunner will net a frag. He's going to get immediately downed by Splash, but he can't quite confirm him. No Finka left on the side of the Chess Club attack, but Eddie's just crossing the breach, and this is an interesting position that Eddie has found himself in. Mr. B will finally land that kill as the plant was going down right below that Aruni. And then inside the lobby, that was the final frag, as Gunner, after being picked up, will get another kill. Those are the shots that you can't necessarily miss. We were saying that Gunner wants that gunfight back. I'm sure Splash will want his back as well.
And it was Eddie, as you highlighted up above, who kind of was in that super duper awkward gunfight on the VIP wall. We did see those secondary hard breach charges, those can openers utilized there to apply a good bit of pressure from above, and that was expertly done by Chess Club, less so by Eddie, who decided to take that challenge, because he had 2 options really, because he couldn't get on the vertical holes to deny the kitchen window jump in because they were being watched from the breach. So he had to either get out of the room, which really couldn't happen with somebody on that wall, or take that gunfight and then get out of the room, hoping to make an impact elsewhere. Maybe winning that gunfight could have allowed him to apply pressure from above, but Chess Club, they knew what bases they had to cover. They didn't necessarily need to push into VIP as long as that wall was open, and they could ensure that nobody could staff those holes up above. That's enough vertical control for them. They didn't necessarily ignore the roam like Team Mystic did at times on their attack, but they didn't, take the full time to clear it out either. Finding a nice in-between, doing exactly what they needed to enable the rest of the team to find kills. We saw Gunner get a kill there. We saw the rest of the team just kind of storming into kitchen and maybe catching Mystic off guard a little bit with the pace at which that attack escalated.
Yeah, it just ramped up to 100 immediately. As soon as the pieces of, hey, we're gonna open up this wall, kind of all you need to do in VIP if you aren't going to go for the vertical pressure is make sure that they can't use any pre-established holds towards you. Well done. But on a eerily similar bomb site in the attack once again, Chess Club are going to try to replicate the success that they had just a couple of seconds ago. Mr. B rotating up, he's got the can openers in his back pocket, but the wall doesn't seem to be oh, okay, it is reinforced. The weird texture and shadowing, I was like, is this wall not reinforced? That would be interesting, but there is no body inside of VIP. All the roamers for the side of Team Mystic, they're allocated over towards Theater. They've got a shield, not of the Goyo variety, so Bills can't just pop it, and his drone instead will be shot by Eddie. Trying to make anything happen, trying to slow down the Chess Club attack. A silence challenging over towards that big window. Deep angles open could expose Bills, but with the superior magnification he has on his weapon, as well as the crossfire established by Snake, they should be able to pinch out this 90 player with relative ease.
There are a couple of other defenders to worry about, right? It isn't just the 90 player to worry about. You've got to focus on, well, I believe it's Tones over in Billiards. It was until a moment ago. Splash as well on that top floor, but it is in fact Doc who opens things up, taking down that very 90 player you mentioned, Connor. Eddie, though, is still in the mix. A drone is likely to spot house his position in a second, and there are the pings to confirm that. Can't quite get sprayed through the hard wall behind him, nor will he be able to take much damage from in front. He's got deployable shield and several reinforcements to work with, but now that he knows he's being flashed out, he'll step up and do what he can. He'll get his job done, getting the 1 kill, really all he could get at that point. But in the meantime, Gunner will find 2 kills of his own, leaving it all up to Kicks right now. On the site with 2 toxic babes, he's got to find 4 of these attackers. The first one, Gunner, pushing in from security, will fall, but doing almost 100 HP worth of damage. Before then, that's going to allow Snake to get 1 bullet to finish off that final player of Kicks. And there it is. Chess Club take another attack.
Yep, and they push themselves onto match point on Team Mystic's map choice. Interesting. Could be slightly worrying for Mystic, as they can no longer make any mistakes at all. 3 rounds in a row just to force overtime. They'll need the perfect site rotation. And their next site, that they haven't really found a whole lot of success on any of them, will be the new site of Hookah. Actually, never mind. It's not the new site of Hookah. That's the one where Tones went huge on the Warden.
Yes,
over
they
inside
went
of
here.
Master. Yes,
They went there
that's
on
why
their
it didn't
first
click in my
defensive round.
brain. It's like, oh yeah, all the action was in Master, but no, it's because it was Hookah.
Right. We've only seen them play 2 bomb sites. It's just been Hookah and Billiards and Kitchen, right? They did Hookah and Billiards. They won it. They went Kitchen. They went Kitchen. They lost it both times. And we're going to see Hookah and Billiards again. I suspect after this, I mean, if there is a round after this, we are not going to see Kitchen in service again. At least I would hope. There are 2 other viable bomb sites on this map, as Chess Club did prove, winning both of those other 2 bomb sites, being Penthouse and Theater, winning that one once and losing it once, and then going to the double bars and winning that one once. The only time they went there and the only time they won it as well. So 100% success rate on that site that Team Mystic will be avoiding for now. The adjustment in the last round that you mentioned early on, Connor, it was the lack of presence in VIP. I knew the thought process that Team Mystic had there. They figured, okay, if somebody's gonna, slap a hard breach charge on that VIP wall, resistance kind of might be futile. There's no reason to put somebody in there just to die. And I like the adjustment they made out in 90. But the risk you run there is that without any pressure in VIP, that allows your 90 players in that case, plural, 1 in 90, 1 in Theater, to get pinched out maybe a little bit earlier than it would have happened otherwise. That's kind of a situation where you might want to bring a little bit of hard breach denial, right? A mute jammer could come on in. Maybe we're going to see an early gunfight here as I try to get through that point there. Bill's already gone, but a mute jammer, electro claw, bandit batteries, all of those may have been a better decision in that previous round. But enough about the past. We can focus on the present, because Team Mystic, hey, they're off to a better start already. Silent takes the first gunfight and wins it, taking down the Twitch.
Yeah, and everybody got home. Everybody got away from the first floor. But with some of the silhouettes and the entryway into office and the hookah balcony play of Doc, doesn't seem like the horizontal extension is going to get very many customers. Potential floor nades to remove players from Pink Bar or inside of any of the hookah locations could be on the docket for Gunner, but instead he's just watching over towards Cool Vibes. Flanks being held by Mr. B as this first nade's going to come out. Might connect, but no, it's the wrong side of the couch. And Gunner, he's going to abandon that endeavor completely to try to Gon 6 out the Malusi, and could push up now as the first Toxic Babes are going to be administered quite early, actually, by Kicks towards Cool Vibes.
Mr. B now swinging in on that VIP balcony. The EE1D scan going off in conjunction with that swing to make sure nobody could run out on him. He's definitely a little bit nervous about this Hall of Fame door, more nervous than he needs to be. Maybe he's worried that somebody from Mystic may catch on to this strategy and run out on him during this time, but nobody took advantage early enough. But now 2 players are working their way towards him. They're going to be just running out this VIP door. Eddie will get him just as he gets Eddie in return. So they'll go 1 for 1. Splash stays alive. Team Mystic They didn't want to have anything to do with a VIP clear, but they're going to have to worry about more than just Mr. B. Doc is still in the mix. He'll take down Silent. At the same time, Gunner will step up, finding his 6th kill. Snake gets one of his own. Now it's going to be all up to Splash to keep Team Mystic alive. He'll catch out one. He'll catch out Doc with the diffuser, who had no idea the mute was routing in a corner. So now Gunner and Snake will have to push this together, or at the very least, recover the diffuser and back
He's
off.
looking in the wrong corner. They already crossed.
Gunner now getting the plant down. Tapping away on that. Snake on the coverage, and that is more than enough to get the job done. Splash falls. Team Mystic could not quite stay alive there. 7-3 on Team Mystic's map. Chess Club, take it.
And it seems like we're going to have the same story as the story shown just a match ago, where a team comes in, they're aggressive, they're hitting their shots, they're looking good on their opponent's map choice, now gets to go to their own, which could definitely be worrying if you're a Team Mystic fan or if you're a Team Mystic player, because fighting up this mountain where Chess Club are looking pretty dominant, not really skipping a beat, and even with Gunner, it was our critical point. It was our one to highlight. He didn't even play that well. Still had a solid game, but not a Gunner caliber game that we come to expect out of him. They still were able to finish it out because players like Snake stepped up.
Bills as well. I mean, all of them, putting up some pretty good performances. And in the end, we did see a couple of slip-ups, right? A couple of rounds in that first half and one in the second half where, okay, things aren't quite clicking as much. Maybe this could slip away, but then, they expelled those doubts almost instantly. They got things together. They played more as a team, and we saw them play a lot more composed. Mystic as well had a rough start. Bounced back a little, but just could not complete that redemption arc through that second half. Could not defend the map as well as Chess Club could. And as a result, the verdict, 7-3, pretty dominant for Chess Club. Before we go to this break, though, Connor, you know what I've got to talk about.
Yes,
I've got to talk about Mike and
what
Ike's.
we need to talk about.
It's Mike and Ike's. Our amazing sponsor. We can pull it up here. Mega Me Up with Mike and Ike's. Mega Mix. Delicious, 10 different flavors in there. Or the Mega Mix Sours. They're delicious, fruity, chewy flavors, can help power you up. Take your candy game to the next level with a pack of Mike and Ike's. Heck, if you don't want a pack of Mega Mix, you can get a pack of original fruits. All of the Mike and Ike flavors are delicious. One of our amazing sponsors here at SCS. We love them. We appreciate them. And we'll appreciate you if you stick around after this short break when we get to map 2 of our final series of the night. See you in a minute.
Have to get aggressive. Breach looking for it, and Hill got it.
Have to push for the kill. Have to kill the Lewinsky.
Transfers on 1-3. What a passion! It's high noon. There's the 1v2 and 5-1-half for Sir.
Welcome to the NerdStreet Winter Championships, featuring SCS6, a yearly open tournament series hosting the best players and teams North America has to offer, culminating in a community favorite, the Pro-Am. So let's discuss format. During the Winter Champs season, SCS6 will consist of 2 stages, where each stage begins with 2 open qualifiers. Once Stage 1 is complete, there will be an additional tournament offering 1 more qualification spot prior to Stage 2. Through participating in SCS6, players will acquire leaderboard points and cash prizing. The winning teams from Stage 1 and 2, as well as the additional tournament, will qualify for the Pro-Am. The top 2 teams from the leaderboard will also qualify. As we approach the end of the season, the final qualification spot will be determined through a last chance qualifier. The Grand Finals of the Winter Champs SCS6 will feature the return of the Pro-Am, where the top amateur teams have an opportunity to define their talent against the North American Pro League. But in the end, only one team will be crowned Winter Champs. Sign up today and make history.
Have to get aggressive. Breeze looking for it, and Hill got it.
Have to push for the kill. Have to kill the Maluski.
Transfers on 1-3. What passion! It's high noon. There's the 1v2 and 5-1-half for serve.
Connor, map 1 had some spice, but it wasn't quite what we were hoping for. Still a pretty dominant win from Chess Club, 7-3 over Team Mystic on their own map pick. From the start, Chess Club just looked a little bit more composed and a little bit more prepared to play this map.
Yeah, and just boiling down to gunfights, as well as Mystic starting really slow on their attacks. And not necessarily starting slow because they were losing gunfights, kind of starting slow because their philosophy wasn't in the right place, and they were taking a lot of solo gunfights and just kind of crouch walking around. And when you almost say that one of these teams is a pug stack and one of them is a Challenger League team, you expect the CL team to have better structure, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
It was the opposite.
Yeah, a little bit interesting to see how that dynamic shook up on Coastline. Moving into Villa next, though, we've got another chance to, evaluate how these teams want to approach it. We can see our stats and kind of see, what that might mean for the future. I mean, looking at Chess Club here, Snake, 1.5 rating, going nuts on the entry as well, putting up some good numbers. Doc, Bills, almost everyone except for Gunner going positive, interestingly enough.
But he's only neutral. We can't hate him that much.
Yeah, no, you can't. 6-6, not bad. -1 on the entry, pretty still a solid cost.
And that was a
60%.
gunfight that he should have won.
Yes, fair.
That was his. Yeah.
That was brutal. That was brutal. But I mean, look at the side of, Team Mystic. I mean, not trailing that far behind in terms of the frags and doing better overall on the entry, rather almost actually the exact same on the entry. It really was a back and forth game initially, but then Chess Club kind of said, you know what, we're going to take this one.
Mm-hmm. And what could be worrying for the side of Mystic is the fact that Villa is the next map. And like you were saying, there's kind of two different villas we can see. We can see a very aggressive villa, but more often than not, it does go more towards the structured side. And with what we've seen so far, just that little window or towards these teams, was that Chess Club played a lot better on their attacks as a unit, as well as Mystic not so much. The attacking side could be pretty difficult, and Villa is one of those maps that, in the inverse of Coastline, which has swung from attacker slightly more to the defensive side, it's gone defender to slightly more attacker.
And that is where we could see, a real difference being made, though, right? Because if you think about the first 4 attacking rounds that we saw from Mystic, the first 2, not ideal. Disastrous at points, not together, very individual. After we talked about it, the next 2 seemed pretty good. They won 2 rounds in a row.
Their hookah take was pretty nice.
It was really nice. They were playing together. The following round, when they went through a pretty composed roam clear, they were playing together, and it was looking really good. Obviously, those adjustments came a little bit late for Coastline, especially on the attack, right? You've got to just come out really swinging from the get-go. But like you said, if this map does depend on attacking prowess, and we see that, second half Mystic attacking prowess, this one could be closer than Coastline for sure. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
I mean, I guess the biggest thing was the fact that even on a map like Coastline, that it's really easy to get map control and just kind of bam, go through. Mystic was going for direct takes, and now we go on Villa, where direct takes are definitely a lot more difficult than the horizontal clears that we would see, such as for AVG, take master over. It's a pretty default take, but if they're going to go study over, that's not fun at all.
No.
And I hope that they don't. I really do. Really hope we do not see multiple study takes just fail over and over again. Even though there's no Thatcher, there's no Flores, there's no Mira, blah, 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 no Valkyrie, same bans that we expect to see.
Yeah. I mean, nothing really worth mentioning here in terms of the ban phase, because these are the bans on every map right now in the meta. On a couple other maps, maybe Clubhouse, we'll see, the Maverick bans thrown in the mix, the hard breacher bans targeted, but the Flores generally seems unanimously hated by these teams, and they just want to get him or loved so much that he's hated, right? He's just, he's really good after all. He's got those Rotero drones are so great because they defy so much of the meta and the way it has been for like years, right? So much the meta has been slap a deployable shield down and put 100 different projectile denial devices around it. You've got your ADSs, you've got your Wamai magnets, you've got now your Aruni, your Surya gates, the laser gates. One deployable shield, I mean, it could last indefinitely almost. And with those Rotero drones, Flores says, you know what, screw you, utility. I am going to take down that shield anyway. Of course, they can be shot out. Still not that easy of an endeavor if you have to peek the shield to shoot out that utility. So, defensive teams, they often like the comfort of knowing that they don't have to worry about those drones sneaking their way in and kind of destroying 90% of that utility just instantly in the round.
Yeah. It's just like, I always like to kind of lump Thatcher and Flores, and they're their own category of just like the bypassing utility. And so they're good operators. Very good. So they get banned. And now for Mystic, starting off on their defense, is a nice horizontal extension. Kind of what you would expect to see out of most teams. Some mute jammers. I guess just the one thing is both of these teams are like the only teams that auto-lock Alibi every defensive round. And they're matched up week 1. You know, a rare operator, but both of them, they love the Italian stallion of Alibi.
I mean, the fragging potential of the MX4 Storm, I mean, it is pretty crazy. It's much like the Twitch, right? I mean, the F2, very formidable weapon. The primary utility could be quite valuable at times, but in many situations, especially if the defense is aware that there's a Twitch in play, it can be quite useless. And while Alibi is, I would argue those holograms are less useful than your average Twitch drone, she does bring a deployable shield, which, again, I mean, we just talked about how important those deployable shields can be on a map like Villa. I mean, that is something that you definitely cannot ignore. So, Kicks right now, top of red stairs, doesn't have the deployable shield in that position, I believe. You've got one likely devoted towards the top of main stairs, where we can see Tones just swinging back and forth. Splash as well will join him, trying to deny all of this pressure working its way in from below. At the same time, Chess Club trying to get something going on the study balcony, sending Bills up on that Gemini clone as well to get a bit more intel about what they're dealing with above. But considering that the 90-second mark is just around the corner, Chess Club are in a position to make a pretty good play. They'll start things off beautifully. 2 players will just roll up the main stairs. There goes Tones and Splash. The 2 players elected to deal with that position and defend it with their lives.
Yep, and their lives have been taken. Kix has 90 control, though, can hop on top of this box and maybe get a gunfight towards Gunner on the sledge, or whoever decides to push Classical. I think Bills is rotating down below, maybe going to come up red late. Seems like flanking in some way, or maybe they've spotted out that there's some sort of flank going on from the remaining 3 Mystic defenders. Never mind, he's just going to hop on 90 and could actually land the kill onto Kix. But instead, he's going to fall back to the pillars. He's absolutely terrified of the 90 window being open, and rightfully so. For the side of Chess Club, they have everybody still alive, but they don't have a whole lot of utility. Pretty much just those final nades that Gunner has to really open up the round. And Silent, he's fearful of this push, falling all the way back inside of the vault. Over Eddie, he's going to be getting aggressive, stopping the X-Kairos, launching over towards the breach, and Silent's going to pick up the kill onto Snake.
Ooh, Kix has gone unnoticed until now, and he'll take the life of one, but Gunner is there to find the trade. So still a 3v2 in favor of Chess Club, although this advantage is starting to slip away. They've got to be careful, but at least they don't have to worry about any more toxic babes once this last one expires. A nade lands right near the feet of Silent. He'll get lit up, but he still has not been taken care of, and this plan has yet to even be attempted. But here comes Gunner, here comes Doc. They'll roll through the site, they'll swing the vault, and they'll swing over towards Aviator, getting the frags they needed. Did not have to attempt the plant at the end of the day. Chess Club, they started off strong, had a troubling mid-round, but when they closed it out, it was still dominance nonetheless.
Yeah, with how dominant the early round was, they can afford to kind of slip up in the mid. And it wasn't like anything ridiculous happened. Sure, the Malusi got to retake study for just a second, but then was just kind of stuck inside of AV. And that's one of the biggest things with just all the bomb sites on Villa, is that anchoring is quite difficult and roam play is so incredibly important. And sure, study direct takes are a little bit more difficult, but when you can win those heads up gunfights coming up the stairs, which can be challenging at times, the rest of the kind of puzzle gets solved and the equation is kind of solved. You can push through, breach study, and then get a plant on whatever area that you want. And for Chess Club, they didn't even really need to plant. They just went for the frags.
And sometimes that's all you need, especially on a site like Aviator in games. It's a tough site to get a plant down on, especially when you know there are two defenders still holding down, pretty strong positions. I mean, the vault is great because you can deny a plant on either side, quick rotations. And because Chess Club hadn't opened up that vault wall, I mean, they knew they had to clear that position out the old-fashioned way, just with a gun and a bunch of bullets. The nade, while it damaged the smoke, didn't finish him off. So they knew they had to just push it, swing it, and get it done that way. So they'll start things off with a good win. As we highlighted, attacking really can turn the tide on a map like this. And Mystic, they looked like initially they were going to go back to Aviator in games. They teased that site, but then they eventually switched over towards Trophy and Statuary, bringing out a pretty unique castle setup, joining it by a deployable shield here on the master bed itself. Kicks playing behind it, but now getting pressured pretty heavily, and no support from any of his teammates means that all 5 of these attackers who are now looking to force him out should be able to do that in no time. There it is. The shield has now been dealt with. The drones sent on in. So Kix knows he can no longer position in Master itself, instead backing off to Statuary for now.
Yeah, another direct take coming out of Chess Club. It's going to net 2 free frags early. The aggression from Gunner is actually going to net 3. Hops right in the fireplace window like a madman. Picks up 2. And then the attempted refrag from distance will net the 3rd. Gunner's actually going to get another kill. Tones, don't know how he whiffed on that one, but he all of a sudden is on for the ace. The nade drops off Snake. And Silent's going to just drop in to Brown Stairs and doesn't see... Okay. I thought for a second he didn't see Snake running around at his feet, but Bills is watching his come up once again. He'll get cut down. The heroics from Gunner going absolutely crazy. Made it for a potential clutch on the side of the Frost. You couldn't really get anything going.
Yeah, got a little bit worrisome in the end there for Chess Club.
That was...
They dropped down. Mr. B was dropped. Then they nade themselves to drop another. And then you've got the drop down from the Frost, which goes completely unnoticed. And he gets at least 1 kill. There were still 2 players alive on their feet at that point, and they didn't have too much trouble tracking him down. It looked like they still had the diffuser up above, so they wouldn't have had much of an issue turning their attention to the plant either way. Yeah, it started with Gunner. It ended with Gunner. A quad kill on the round, destroying the hopes of Team Mystic pretty much entirely. Started with, like you said, Connor, he jumped in the fireplace window. He just got 2 kills on that statuary door, and Chess Club Team Mystic just were not ready for it. At the same time, he heard the breaking of the barricade all the way over on the other side by bottom main stairs over in Art. He took down that player pretty easily. A common peek towards that master window, and from there he walked his way in, dealt with the bathroom player, and that was all she wrote. Gunner already heating up, 7 kills right now, which is more than anyone on Team Mystic has, more than their kills combined, and actually more than every other player's kill in this lobby put together, actually equal to every other player in this lobby's kills put together combined. Yeah, math, science.
Yep. In between maps, I did see Gunner apologize on Twitter for whiffing. He said he promises he'll do better. He's fulfilling his promise. I think we can comfortably say that through these first 2 rounds. He's doing pretty well. I think we can all agree. And for the side of Chess Club, 2 straight direct takes have worked. They're just kind of bodying Team Mystic in these power positions because Gunner, even not on an entry op, he's not on the Yana anymore. He's still just being aggro. Playing very well. Gunner saw Kix for just a moment, and Kix probably yelled, screeched something, and was very, very scared. But instead, as he's working on the horizontal extension, the rest of his team is making work over on the other side. Snake still pushing through on Study, making sure that there's breaching going on. 90 control is still in the favor of the defenders, but the drone kind of confirming the location of Splash. He can be cut down at any moment, and Snake is going to strike.
He's looking for another. He knows there's someone else there. That's Silent, but he will quickly tuck tail and run. He does not want to risk losing another Mystic body just on a lackluster extension. Trying to catch Chess Club off guard, maybe catch him by surprise, but it did not work. they're going to now hope to fall back. Except for Tones, I guess. He's still holding 90. He's hoping to go unnoticed, but we just heard him shoot a couple of bullets there. It looks like it'll work for him, though, at least for one more kill, though. He'll pre-fire. He'll take down Bills, who tried to challenge the angle, knowing that the Wamai was there, but didn't realize that a couple of bullets were already being sent down range. But Mr. B, he'll open up the wall. Gunner gets one onto Eddie as Doc swings onto Tones from behind. So the combination of those two kills now propels Chess Club into a 4v2, sitting even more comfortably than before. Kix is still in Master. He hasn't left from this early position. Silent finds one, now 2 kills at the same time, dropped eventually by Snake. And now Kix, because his position is known, shouldn't be too much trouble for Gunner to clean him up. And no, it was not. That's 3 in a row for Chess Club. That one got a little bit dicey in the end. Chess Club maybe playing a little bit loose, a little bit comfortable, taking the round nonetheless.
Yeah, if we want to make some sort of chess analogy, you know, the opening from Chess Club has been phenomenal. Their pawn structure is great, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, Gunner's having an insane game, and Team Mystic look kind of lost on this map. Sure, they have these cool setups like that Master, you know, the shield that we saw from Parabellum, some castle barricades, some opened up stuff. But an exterior castle window with a sledge on the board is going to get removed pretty easily. And it still seems like for the Jaeger, didn't feel comfortable and didn't really see that coming. He was caught off guard that a castle barricade got opened up pretty early on in the round. And then the slight horizontal extension on the side of Mystic over towards AVG, it was destroyed with relative ease. You know, they just droned them out, breached open the walls that didn't have mute jammers on them, and killed them really fast. And then they were able to just transition, pinch the bomb site from multiple angles. Didn't seem like, almost seems like with Mystic, they were spreading themselves too thin. When you extend both directions into Master as well as into AVG, both of those sides, they don't have enough oomph to really stop both ways, and you just get kind of crushed. You got to pick one or the other.
Yep. And speaking of, you know, picking one or the other, Mystic, they still refuse to pick the kitchen bomb site. Kitchen and dining will not make its debut just yet. Still going back and forth between Trophy and Statuary and Aviator in games. Now on the latter site, the one they actually started on but quickly switched off to Trophy and Statuary, which they then attempted twice. We are back at square one. Are Mystic changing anything up here? Their lineup is similar, but not the same. They don't have the mute anymore. I believe Tones was on the mute last time they were on this site. Instead, this time he'll be on the Wamai. And I guess they'll be hoping to play this one more aggressively. There it is. Tones will just kind of be running along this map and taking fights on the first floor, and he'll win the first one, shutting down the top frag, the man himself, the man of the hour. Gunner is gone. That could be all that Mystic need in theory.
Yeah, it could be. But there's also a whole lot of people that can kind of step up at any moment. One of these players, being Bills, could find the back of the Wamai, almost loses the gunfight, but he can heal that damage pretty easily. But he can't revive a teammate. 2 of them, in fact, as Doc and Mr. B fall down. One at the hands of Mystic, one at the hands of Chess Club, but Bills down below is still shooting. It's up to him and Snake to kind of save this round. And I think a nade down below might be necessary, but he's all the way up classical, and he gets shut down from 90. This round has been a little bit perplexing, and regardless, Mystic come out on top because they thrive in the chaos.
It did feel like, despite Chess Club and obviously taking 3 rounds in a row, it felt like each round got closer and closer to disaster, right? It seemed that each round started off equally well, but then the first one barely slipped away. The second one slipped away a little bit more, but they pulled it out. The third one, oh dear God, it was close. And the fourth one, we finally, you know, stopped that pattern. It was Mystic who opened things up well, and Chess Club, they were still very much in the take solo gunfights, win solo gunfights mentality. We kind of saw them just push things one at a time and die one at a time. Not too super unusual to see, given, you know, the way they've been playing the last few rounds, the confidence they've been building, the gunfights they've been winning. I mean, they've been learning, hey, solo aggressive plays work. They tried it again. Finally, Mystic had a counter for that, and it was good to see. Mystic will now have to do that again, though, on a site that they've already lost twice, so this could be a different beast.
Yeah, definitely a different beast entirely. But hopefully for Mystic's sake, they can try to salvage anything, because I don't foresee their attacking side going very well. And Chess Clubs has already been pretty solid. At worst, a 3-3 split. And if Chess Club want to go for another straight up master push, a little bit of a direct, then there's a lot less pushback on the side of Mystic, a lot less utility allocated by that, besides, you know, just an Electric Claw, which could be removed from below or just naded over from the top ropes. Just kind of kicks inside of Bathroom could be the roam, but instead it'll be a roam clear on the side of Chess Club, bringing out a bunch of different attacks all in a row. A lot of players over towards the study side, as well as Gunner just going solo once again over towards Master.
We see Chess Club. They're really trying to build this up, really trying to clear out Eddie, but well, it's not going to be easy. Eddie's got a C4 prepped as well. He could potentially use that to open it up, but it looks like that's been spotted, and that's been dealt with successfully. Tones is also in the mix, as is Silent. He actually will take down Gunner. That's back-to-back rounds with Gunner on the entry and Gunner dying on the entry. All Mystic have to do is do what they did in the last round. Stay composed, and this round is essentially yours. Chess Club, they started to bring it back in the last round. It was Bills really at the helm of that comeback, but this time he will not be allowed to do it. Eddie will shut Bills down right after, so now it's Snake's turn. Another one of these players who we've been known to step up. Last time, I mean, obviously, he was at the top of the leaderboard on map 1. But he'll have to make quite an uphill climb if he wants to do it here on map 2. Knowing the advantage they've got, Mystic are going to elect to play this one a little bit safer. Splash, though, is still present, as is Tones here in 90. Splash now, a couple of bullets finding their way towards him. Silent will actually come back into the mix to support the Kaid. Tones still here, refusing to budge, but Splash will eventually be felled. Now Mystic need to play this safer. They need to back off here, otherwise they could risk throwing away more lives unnecessarily, but Tones refuses to budge, and he dies because of it.
Yeah, there's only a minute left, though, but not really any plant denial utility, no nitros, no nothing, unless a sneaky frost mat is somewhere in an interesting position. The plant could go down. It would just have to be bullets on the side of Team Mystic, as well as not having the man advantage that is stacked up against them. Kicks on the bomb chassis is in a position that could make or break this round, but as soon as he falls back, it's Silent pushing up over towards Master. Understands that somebody's going to be rotating into this area, and it is Doc who's going to jump inside of the closet, shooting out a frost mat if it were there, but instead it's the shotgun, the stubby, that will drop him off. As now an attempted burn and attempted plant could come out of Chess Club, but they don't seem to know which way they want to go. The man count, it isn't in their favor anymore. It's all tied up. Flash is running out through Boar as the push is coming through. Some shots raining out as Snake's gonna take a lot of damage. Kicks will finish him off. It's just up to Mr. B. He has to clutch. He has the bomb, but he has a bearing that's not quite loaded for that much range. Silent, as well as the final remaining player, going absolutely massive to win that round.
Definitely got a lot closer, though, for Mystic than it should have. I mean, they had 2 opening picks, and yet they decide to play very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. And it cost them. It did, and it almost cost them the round. As a whole, it was a 3v2 in the end, when initially it was a 5v3. Chess Club made a very good comeback in the round. No thanks to their own, ability to push out that map. No thanks to any magic that they were able to pull off. Only thanks to Mystic throwing that advantage away as soon as they gained it. At the end of the day, though, it doesn't matter. Mystic won the round. They got the 2 early picks they needed, and maybe that was enough confidence to give those last 2 players to stay alive. Chess Club lacking in that confidence, maybe took too long to push into that site, even though it was that 3v2 situation. At that point, they have the advantage. They could have played a little bit more forward, and yet they elected to sit back and maybe waited a little bit too long. Chess Club, though, 3 rounds is more than enough on the attack. Already, job has been complete. Now all you've got to do is just get any bonus rounds you can. Here's their chance, though. We're headed downstairs to Kitchen and Dining. We'll see this site for the first time Mystic have clearly been avoiding this, likely because they feel it is their weaker site on this map. So Chess Club, they can just remedy their entry players and not die so early in these rounds. We could see a very different event here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, at worst, a 3-3 half for Chess Club isn't really that bad. But you know what's a lot better than a 3-3? A 4-2. And a different bomb site, so no really adjustments could be made. So, Chess Club are going to have to figure this one out on the fly. And considering Gunner has slowed down, we're probably going to have to see him use his hammer as opposed to his gun if they go for vert. But with Snake already pushing inside a library, it might just be a horizontal push coming fully out.
Tones wants to get involved early. Gunner will also be getting involved early, and once again, he is going to get lit up. Kicks will as well. A nade will find him, almost taking him down. Gunner will finish him off with a bullet, just as Splash finishes off Bill. So they'll go 1 for 1, but Tones is still in the mix here, and he is running all over this map, collecting kills left and right. He'll take down Doc, but now he's on the hunt for more. Snake knows of his position, but it doesn't matter. Tones wins another gunfight. There is still one more player around the corner. That's Mr. B. Tones has a pretty good idea of that, though, and he'll pre-fire the angle. He's on low HP here. He knows that he's only got one more chance at this gunfight. And Mr. B knows he's got to be careful. He's got the case. If he drops it here in Mudroom, Gunner is not nearby to support him. He's going to be, oh my lord, he's going to have to be careful, and he will not be careful enough. 3 kills for Tones. It's all up to Gunner. He'll get one, and that'll be a double kill for him, finally taking down the Capcan. But with only, I mean, a minute 15 left is, sure, it's enough time to work with, but on low HP against 3, this one is going to take quite the impossible comeback.
Especially because Eddie's still alive with the cardiac sensor. If he has it up to his face, I'm sure they can figure out that, hey, he's trying to push China, and as that nade explodes, they will know. Silent, he's just prone in a corner. Gunner doesn't seem to be looking the right way. He's going to pick up that free frag. And Mystic, even though the first 3 rounds went the favor of Chess Club, they did bounce back and got a tied half.
Yeah, they bounced back in a big way. It was hard to tell at times if it was, you know, Mystic just outclassing Chess Club the entire time, or if it was Chess Club kind of digging themselves into a little bit of a hole here and there. Did feel like a combination of both. Maybe started off with a bit more of Chess Club making some errors. Once they tried to remedy it, though, Mystic, you know, they also made some pretty solid adjustments and then started to heat up in their own right. So even though it started off pretty poorly for Mystic, we are, you know, 3 rounds later, we are all tied up in even 50-50 half, 3-3. Now we can shift to the other side of things. But this time, Team Mystic have all the momentum. They've just won 3 rounds in a row. Chess Club, they just got decimated by Tones, who just ran them down. And now we've got to see what kind of defense Chess Club are trying to bring to the table. Are they going to go for, you know, that 5-man hold? Or are we going to see that aggressive roam style that they brought out here and there on Coastline?
I'm going to assume that one of the shields is going to be towards main because, you know, Jaeger, Wamai, they're going for some good denial on that direction, as well as some reinforcements downstairs. This might be a bit of a library living hold. And yes, that's exactly what we're seeing out of both Gunner and Doc. This would make a direct take very difficult, to say the least. Very not fun to do with all the utility and not really any easy way to get map control downstairs and try to burn for those shields as well as apply floor nades, blada blada blada. And if this is a read from Chess Club to bring this out because Mystic only went for direct takes, that would be wrong completely. It's a different map. It's not Coastline anymore. They're going for the full horizontal on the other side.
Well, here comes Mystic on this trophy and statuary side clear. They'll work their way through this part of the map, and it appears they will be uncontested for the most part, at least up until the point where they get to that 90 hall. As is typical, you've got somebody positioned on the red stairs. That's going to be Snake's job. Up until a moment ago, you had someone out in 90. Bill's kind of bouncing back and forth between that position, but as our observer Nova is highlighting here, you've got to worry about Gunner down below. You can see him potentially working a little bit of a flank, maybe just positioning himself to go for a late flank, or on the contrary, simply positioning for a bit of a C4. You've got a good bit of intel from your teammates above. You have Snake here providing some pings. Once that player pushing through that board landing makes his way up the hallway, you could have a C4 from Gunner down below. The one C4 is going to be wasted from Bills. That's going to be a complete miss on the player on the 90 window, who will take not a single bit of damage here. And now Snake, who was, I thought, relaying some information to Gunner. The only thing he's going to be able to relay now is that he is being pressured by a lot.
He was pressured so much that he nitroed concrete. Can't get a kill through there. That is unlucky, because that's a very valuable C4 that could have bolstered up this roam, especially when the full 90 pressure is out on the side of Team Mystic. They're burning for top red. They shoved that player back. Snake no longer occupying that stairway. It's just going to be Doc trying to hold on to this zombie skull door shield. First swing is going to come out. Down goes Kicks. Down goes the Habana. So if they had dreams and aspirations of pushing 90 and breaching that, they're long gone, and so is Tones. A couple of nades removed. But more than anything, it's just still aggressive peaks coming out of Chess Club defense. There's a trade here. Silent goes down, but the refrag from Splash will make things slightly better. But it's a 4v2 situation. No easy access way into the bomb site. And no time left. Only 30 seconds.
Yeah, Doc is on the prowl. He wants another kill. He knows the nades are coming from below, and he knows that Mystic, I mean, they've got to spend a lot of time rotating up around. Eddie's now going to find a lot of bullets his way from Gunner, who will just whip out the shotgun and finish him off. Splash, who was nowhere near his teammate, mind you, is in the middle of the 90 hall. He'll collect a kill onto Gunner, but then a plethora of bullets will find their way through the soft wall right next to him, and he will fall as a result. Chess Club, solid defensive round. Mystic just kind of getting tunnel visioned at points and walking into a couple of angles that Chess Club were already holding. It was Doc who lined up 2 kills almost instantly using that deployable shield and aviator. Then it was Snake on the red stairs who got a beautiful kill, and positions that Mystic should have been a little bit more aware of. Maybe they let themselves forget about that a little bit when they got focused on one position or the other.
And I think the biggest thing is that shield usually is taken care of pretty easily from down below, but the setup from Chess Club was centric on that first floor over towards the living room and dining and all that, all those fun areas, library. And for the side of Mystic, they did kind of stall. It seems like they were not as proficient with their utility as they would like, and burning and kind of hard peeking with nades in your hand is not an ideal situation, especially when you have those slits on the shields. The Doc was just able to line up his shot. A lot of times you need to kind of peek as you're throwing, or else you're just going to get taken down. That's exactly what Doc was able to kind of take advantage of. But Jonah, do you see what I'm seeing right now?
I do indeed. Mr. B. What the heck?
I wonder if Mr. B stands for Bodhi. Is he bringing the clash?
Or Bozo, because he's bringing the clash.
Or British, because he's bringing the clash.
Oh, look at that. 3 B words there.
As it usually is for Mr. British, but he's also bringing the British lady.
Yeah, no.
Multi-leveled.
A lot of tears to the B there. But hey, yeah, the clash is in play here, so that is always exciting. Hard to utilize her well on this bomb site. But honestly, like many bomb sites, where there is great risk, there is often great reward. If Mr. B can avoid walking himself into a crossfire and provide a good bit of intel to his team, then the clash can be quite powerful. I mean, think about the position he's holding just there. In Astro, holding down that, Astro repel player, that could be huge. If that blocks most of the window, then that player on the repel would have a hard time actually providing the cutoff that they might need otherwise. For now, though, we'll have to wait and see how the clash comes into play. Team Mystic, they will begin a direct approach over on this south side of the map with some pressure up towards Master and some pressure down below at the same time. Nothing crazy going on just yet.
Yeah, what you would expect to see out of a frontside take. Just get some breaches open, apply some pressure, they'll burn, and Mr. B is one shield that you can't really destroy. And he also can move. But you can also still get rid of him with something like an air jab if he triggers it. But being inside of Astro is a pretty interesting position for it to deal with a clash. Especially as especially because you can just kind of nade him from down below if you can pinpoint his location. But more than anything, he's just going to have constant comms on where the push of Team Mystic is coming from. Kix is going to remove that wall, but it might just get Electro Claw trick. No, the timing is there. And Gunner doesn't know that there's a player close right at this breach. I don't think Kix knows that Gunner has his face inside of this breach either.
There it goes. The X-Kairos pellets will detonate, and Kix will begin the waiting game on each side of the wall with Gunner here. But the nade coming in, his position known. Now he'll go for the wide swing, a bit of a pre-fire, but Kix remains relatively unscathed. Gunner actually getting lit up there, so now Mr. B will take up the mantle of this breach, and Gunner from behind him will get a nice headshot onto Kix. So despite being lit up, Chess Club, they will hold the advantage here. Just for now, though, because with 30 seconds Mystic, they're building this pressure. They've got the Finka Stim, and they've got a beautiful nade from Eddie to begin this take. But Mr. B is still a factor, and it's unclear if Team Mystic knew that until just about now. A new nade coming in, but he'll just be baited to the breach, so Doc will take care of him. Tones gets one back onto Snake, and we are still even. Doc now sees one player over towards 90, now going straight on into Statuary. That's Tones, but Mr. B will fry him. He'll take down the shield and do it the old-fashioned way. Doc and Bills will follow right behind. And Chess Club, they use the clash to perfection, getting 2, if not 3 kills solely because of the clash.
Yeah, that was interesting. And a really good adjustment to stop a direct take from Mystic. That pretty much all they had was that breach. All they had to their name. They're either going to have to push through bathroom or push through concrete. And when you have a player that can get frags on the breach opened up, like Gunner, sure, he got naded from Narnia. That one got dropped in his prone lap from across highway in Ivy. But as everything else stood, a really solid defense once again from Chess Club. Maybe if the nades had been able to take out the clash, that could kind of plug the breach that was already just scuffed enough. It was like a vaulting crouch hole that would not have been fun to entry, but more so made for getting kills on the attacking side, kind of bisecting the site and cutting off certain positions like top red and Ivy. But it was almost like the good old-fashioned saying that holes work both ways, and Chess Club utilized it better.
Well, Mystic, they've got to start to get something going here. Obviously, in the first half, they lost 3 rounds and then won 3 rounds. But especially now that we are on the second half and that match point is just 1 point away and on the horizon, it's better to be fighting from a bit closer than a 6-3 deficit where you have to go flawless. Otherwise, yeah, the game's over and the series is over. Again, this is Group C, and we haven't seen the other matchup in Group C between Noob Slayers and Gasher's Goons, so we don't know who is going to be in that elimination game just yet, who would be in that winners game just yet. We'll know all of that more tomorrow, so either one of these teams, they will be moving on to that, winners match, that elimination match on their own for now. But still, both of these teams have more than a fighting chance. Mystic have a fighting chance, but if they want a realistic one, they need a round right here. They've got to win this kitchen and dining attack, and already things will be, starting off on the right foot. A good nade from Silent that will take down Gunner. The man with 13 kills will find no more this round.
Yeah, taking him off the board for early is nice, but this mute trick is not going to work because the wall was already opened, and Mr. B hasn't really been in a whole lot of engagements. 9 rounds in, only 5. Interesting enough. I guess when you're having success on your attacks and your breach isn't really dying, it's always a good, healthy sign. But as everything else stands, the walls being opened, a lot of pressure being applied to the bomb site, but none of the vertical variety. Once again, it's a direct take from Mystic that could transition up top, but Doc taking out Tones is going to make this horizontal pressure a little bit less. Eddie only taking master control can allow for a couch plant if the kind of sprint in can go in, or maybe even just a crouch walk into the breach if Mystic are going for that kind of attack. Inside a board and inside a top red are the 2 remaining roamers on the side of Chess Club, potentially going to try to retake the top floor, and these drones and air jabs are going to have to be allocated properly.
Yeah, Chess Club trying to apply some pressure to this top floor attacking force, but they know they've got to be careful in doing so. I mean, they've seen Splash. They're hearing him now set up these air jabs. They know Eddie is keeping a watchful eye on their position, but Splash will actually walk himself into a bit of a precarious position. He'll not even take much damage at all. He'll actually survive that for a moment before finally being felled. At the same time, Mr. B will pick up a kill onto Kicks, leaving this one and leaving Mystic's hope in this round up to both Eddie and Silent, who are, yes, at 100 HP, thanks to another well-timed Finka boost. But they have to find 4 of these defenders. Now that Splash has been finished off and now that Silent is done with, Eddie will have to put on the work of 3 players. He'll get one up above, but Snake, who started the entire round up top, really never leaving, constantly pressuring this attacking team, he'll get the final kill, and that will indeed move Chess Club to match point and series point.
Series point send Mystic down below to the losers game point with a very familiar scoreline to what we saw last time of 6-3. It would require a whole lot of rounds in a row for Mystic to have this go into their favor. Chess Club, they kind of have the lion's pick of what sites they want to go to. They're going to get a chance on each of them to find success. But with Mystic's kind of repertoire towards Chess Club setups, it becomes hard. It becomes like difficult to get multiple rounds in a row on the defensive side, because Mystic, as much as I've been kind of saying that their attacks are very meh, they have adjusted properly. At least we saw that on Coastline. Hopefully that is the case once again for their attacks on Villa.
Well, here we are at the first of potentially 3 Mystic rounds in a row. The first of what needs to be the comeback that they were unable to put together on map 1. They're going to need to do it here on Villa. The elimination game is what could stare them in the face. If they do not put together a flawless rotation, they'll be starting things off, of course, rather on the attack. They'll be starting things off on another Aviator in Games attack. Chess Club, of course, having a flawless rotation. They won this one before. It was pretty clean. And Mystic have to find a way to remedy this. They could try to target Gunner down below. They could try to go for that bottom floor clear, working their way up main stairs, or we might see, that trophy and statuary approach and clearing all across the map. This is what they did last time. It was met with pretty heavy pressure from Chess Club, and it was shut down beautifully by Doc and Snake, especially, who just line those players up in a nice crossfire once they push through the site. But like last time, Chess Club will not be pressuring this attack early. They did it only in the mid and the late round, allowing Mystic maybe to get a little bit complacent, sure, but allowing them to take all the map control that they want, at least up until 90.
Yeah, and if the push is a little bit more kind of strong on the util side, they maybe could transition towards that skull door, but that's where the pushback was, like you said, last time around. And Gunner being able to kind of exist on the main stairs when that push eventually had to rotate that direction, that was in a strong position. Tonesy's going to take out Snake. Down goes the Jaeger. I believe that was the top red player, or maybe he had rotated over towards 90. But they were able to fell him last time around. It was Doc that went crazy on this shield, aggressively attacking the angles that the attackers were holding. And Gunner was nitro and concrete. This time, good old-fashioned wood. Up goes Silent into a puff of explosiveness, as Doc is going to whip out the Keratos and finish off Tones. 2 kills for the price of none now. But Gunner, his rotation point over towards main to kind of escape his roam is being cut off by Eddie, as well as the hatch that Bills is currently playing on. He can't move off of it because of this 90 window.
Well, there comes Eddie. He'll get a kill back onto Gunner. Oh, but Bills, he can't be allowed to do that. He'll get a kill. Kicks has to answer, but cannot do it. Bills, a double kill, sitting in a do-or-die position in the 90 hall. And there he goes. Once again, Mystic, it's going to come down to Eddie. Their hopes in this series fall on Eddie's shoulders, and Bills from up above takes him down swiftly. It is Bills in the final round, a triple kill to put Chess Club over the edge. But as a whole, Chess Club playing a better series, 7-3, 7-3 on Coastline and Villa, looking good. The better team here tonight. They'll move to the winner's game, relegating Mystic to that elimination match.
Yeah, really well played by Chess Club, and you don't even want to say the Mystic aren't going to say like, oh my gosh, they were so bad, they were so horrible. I think this was definitely a matchup that Chess Club were just, and not necessarily Mystic losing it, it's Chess Club winning it. They definitely earned it and looked good on pretty much every bomb site. Very minimal mistakes on both maps, and when there were mistakes, they were rectified. Like Gunner whiffing really badly and all of a sudden going crazy, and then Gunner nitroing concrete to Gunner nitroing an actual soft floor. Upgrades, people, upgrades.
I mean, it really was all over the place, right? It was Gunner, the story of map 1, the player who just did not show up on Chess Club. They won anyway, don't get me wrong, and he did end up going positive.
Yeah, people like Bills and Snake were also playing incredibly well.
Yeah, and they stepped up even more on Villa. I mean, Bills in that last round, I mean, heck, that was an incredible play there. One that, I mean, Mystic were well on their way to working their way back in. Obviously, they started rough. But hey, in that round at least, you had Eddie who picked up a kill down below. And theoretically, there should have been some intel on Bill sitting in that corner. I just don't know if there was. The first player, the Nomad who swung him, didn't seem to have much of an idea, wasn't as prepared. That's an easy corner to pre-fire because he was stuck in that corner. You had the player on 90, but I believe Kix was looking the other way. Once that kill was found by Bills, I mean, Kix had to step up and just couldn't in the nick of time.
Yeah, and for Mystic, I think that their roster still needs a little bit more time, especially because I think Tones is IGLing from the entry, which is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. And having that be a primary IGL, sure, a shot caller, that's not that bad, but as a sole IGL on this team, not easy. And hopefully these game day reps do help to bolster up their team. And for the side of Chess Club, even though they've kind of played together before and then not really adding in Gunner and kind of having players to go back and come back and soup and all that craziness. Sure, they came out here in SCS and they definitely turned I think they turned a lot of heads today.
I agree. The tough part is, though, Connor, is that you talk about time and needing more time. In SCS, you don't have much time. You only get, right, I mean, they have one more chance. This time, they have to remedy the issues they've had, and they've got to do it by next week, because next week, the elimination game is here. And if they lose that one, you're done. Your split is done. And the only chance you have of making Pro-Am is through the last chance qualifier. So
I just had the idea and the very real possibility that Mystic could be playing their elimination game against Pangu.
That's very possible, and that would be brutal for them, right? And I mean, here's the overall picture, so you can all get some more clarity. You know, Chess Club, of course, the winner's game. Mystic moving down to that elimination game. Gasher's Goons, that was what former Aqualix, now just a plug stack called Gasher's Goons, and now you have Noob Slayers. That right there, that's Pangu's team. So Pangu coming in. If Gasher's Goons can take down Noob Slayers, then Pangu's down there against Team Mystic, and talk about needing time to prepare. You've got to prepare a team to go up against one of the most, competent minds Siege has to offer. He's still a competent gunner. I mean, you do not want to go against Pangu when you're not at your full strength. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for them, I'm sure, to play against him. But hey, you got to be firing on all cylinders. Otherwise, bye-bye SCS.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, let's just move on to this game. We got our beautiful stats coming out. And Silent, he had a pretty good game, but not as good as nearly anybody else on the side of Chess Club. Doc and Bills, 2 solid games on both maps. Gunner, a very meh map 1, and then a very, very good map 2. Snake and Mr. B, can't really complain a whole lot. Somebody has to be at the bottom. And I mean, if you're going to average out at about like a 0.9 to 0.1, that's solid for the roles that they were playing. Sure, Snake was a little bit aggressive on the defense, but on the attack, he was just kind of here and there and in interesting positions. So not really too much fault on them. Chess Club just coming out and having a great game all the way around.
Yeah, well, let's talk to Gunner. Let's talk to one of these Chess Club players and see how the man himself is feeling at this hour, how Chess Club think, and how they feel going forward. Gunner, can you hear me okay?
Hello, yeah.
All right, well, Gunner, congratulations again on the opening win. I mean, good start. Obviously for you, and we can, open right up with the elephant in the room. You didn't have such a hot coastline. You had something to say about that on Twitter, I heard. You move into Villa and you turn things on a little bit. What was the big change for you there?
I mean, there wasn't really a change. Like, I just wasn't hitting my shots. Like, it was quite simple as that. Like, I know you got a slow-mo replay of like the worst whiff in my career. It is what it is.
Yes, we may have done
it
that.
happens, And after that whiff, I said I'm gonna turn up, and I did. And yeah, it's just
you stormed into Villa. You're nuts.
Thank you.
Talk to me about. I do want to mention Villa. I mean, you guys come out right off the bat. You yourself, I mean, you drop like 9 kills, 3 rounds, something crazy. 3 rounds, you guys win in a row, and then things kind of start to slip away, and Mystic get 3 back on you pretty quickly. What happened there? Did they change something that kind of got the better of you guys? What kind of happened?
Well, like at the beginning, they were kind of playing like to their strat, like how they're probably supposed to play, and like we were just smoking them, like we were just one of those things. And then after like the 3rd round, they just started placing like people in the most range. Like they had Wamai roaming, and like it was just catching us off guard a little bit. They were getting the picks. Like they had a crazy flank on the dining round. They were just hitting their shots on defense, probably as they should have. But it was a little bit too late. Same way, we smoked them on defense.
Yeah. I mean, again, about map 1 again, Coastline. Did you come out, comfortable on Coastline as a team, or did it, surprise you that you were able to take Mystic's map so easily?
Well, I mean, we're comfortable on a lot of the maps now. We've had a lot more time as like a team. Per se, like with the quals, we really weren't that good of it. Like we were going OT like every game, but like now we had time to settle down with like roles, like chemistry. Even like when I was doing as bad as I was, like my whole team was like super comfortable in their spots, smoking everyone. So it's like we were chilling. It's no big deal.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. Well, now I guess I'll ask about, looking to the future. You've got some other opponents down the line. You've got to play the winner of Gasher's Goons. That's former Aqualix versus Noob Slayers, Pengu's team. Is there anyone you're looking forward to facing? You're hoping to play in that winner's game?
I mean, I don't know. I hope we play Gasher's team because I guess technically they're the CL team, and smoking CL teams is fun. I really don't feel like playing the Goons. They don't scrim. They're just going to run around like idiots. So I hope Gasher's team will beat them. Gasher's team's really not that good, so I don't know if they will, but we'll see.
All right, well, good to hear. Looking forward in SCS as a whole, though. Is there anyone you've got your sight on? I mean, obviously, you weren't here last split. Anyone you want to take down? Any of those, CL teams you got a target on their back?
I mean, we took them down today, so.
Well, there you go. Two-Face done. Mystic done.
Yep.
Good to hear from you, Gunner. And hopefully we'll talk to you next week when you get another win on your belt.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, see ya. Well, Connor, clearly you can see here heating up in that second map, ending up 20-13. Doc as well, putting up some insane numbers, 3-0 on the entry as well.
Yeah, the early round dominance was definitely there for the side of Chess Club, as well as just overall everybody doing well. The only thing I guess you could see is like the asterisk, and you don't want Mr. B dying early. That's not ideal, but everything else is pretty good. Low engagement rate for your entry, hard breach, or pardon me, your hard breach anchor, and then everybody doing their part all the way around. Not a single plant though is a little bit interesting. Just kind of the philosophy of both of these teams that they like going for kills, not really the old objective planting.
Yeah, actually none of that.
Yeah,
no plants.
No plants at all. Yeah.
And on Villa is even more surprising. We saw more plants on Coastline than we did on Villa. Both of these teams just frag. But a good series overall, and a good introduction there for Mystic. But overall, I do think Chess Club clearly the better team tonight. Before we end though tonight, we've got a couple things to do. We of course have our Mike and Ike sweet play of the day, but we've also got to talk about our other sponsor, Mavix Gaming Chairs. The all-new M4 gaming chair is available on Mavix.com. You can go to Mavix.com/NerdStreetGamers to make that happen. You can get it for as low as $22.22 a month. If you want to pay that in monthly installments, of course, that's pretty affordable, Connor. I'm not going to lie. That's just like, 1 or 2 meals. Instead of just ordering DoorDash, I'll just, stuff some leftovers in my face, make a bowl of ramen or something. And I can get myself a Mavix gaming chair.
Do you know what else you can get with your Mavix gaming chair?
Oh?
You get $55 off with code NSG55 at checkout.
There it is. Got to use that.
Got to use that.
Got to get my discount.
Discounts are pretty great. And do you know what else are even greater? The Mike and Ike sweet play of the day.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. I wonder what this one's going to be. Had some pretty crazy plays in all of the series.
Yeah, I mean...
You got the Asian shotgun. You got the Gunner 4K.
There was a couple of... Logan,
You got the Ambi.
bunch of plays.
You got the Ambi 4K. You got the Loban, like back-to-back 4Ks.
Guess we'll find out. Is
That's
it going to
no
be Gunner?
recency
It
bias.
is.
Oh, they're just not even looking at him.
Dude, there's the next one on the window, on the door, all the way across. And then he gets this is the kill that he should not have gotten.
No.
I don't know how he wins this one, but it's just a back and forth. They both keep re-peeking, and Tones dies. Gunner gets the kill. I mean, the final one was just snatched away from him, but a nice little quad kill to really just demoralize the heck out of Mystic just 2 rounds in.
Yeah, that was part of the, 9 kills in the first couple of rounds. That Gunner came out. He came out swinging. He had to right his wrongs. And for Tones, I'm sure he wants that gunfight back, but he's never going to get it, and it's immortalized forever. SCS6 make history.
Again, that was our Mike and Ike play of the day. I'm sure you're familiar at this point because we've talked about them a lot. But Mike and Ike, you can take your candy game to the next level with a pack of Mike and Ike Original Fruits or Mike and Ike Mega Mix. Mega Me Up with Mike and Ike Mega Mix. They're delicious, fruity, chewy flavors. Sours too, yes. Mike and Ike Sours. Absolutely delicious if you're more of a sour candy kind of guy. And hey, they can keep power you up, keep playing at your best. Mike and Ike, always an amazing sponsor here at SCS. But Connor, with our 2 series gone and our play of the day out of the way, I believe that is going to do it for us here tonight. It's been 2, quick series, but pretty solid series overall. Excited to see how these teams progress into next week's games. Of course, we've got tomorrow, though. We'll look forward to next week, because right now we've got to look forward to tomorrow. We've got 2 more best of 3s to close out our initial games in all of these groups. So be sure to tune in. We'll probably be going live at right around 6 p.m. Eastern per usual. Got a bit of a late start today. We'll see you on time tomorrow. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. So long.